Shakespeare Birthplace Trust is all about bringing Shakespeare to life, and that's for everybody. Whether you're a lifelong Shakespearean expert or whether it's the first encounter with Shakespeare, we're all about making those experiences come alive and be really meaningful for people. We're a charity, we don't get any regular government funding, so we're really reliant on every volunteer, every visitor, every donor. There's something really important about experiencing history where it happened. There's a feeling that you can get in the pit of your stomach when you're in the real place, seeing the real thing. And coming to Stratford does that for people. We've got this collection which consists of the Shakespeare family homes, so there's 5 houses that were connected with Shakespeare and his immediate family, places that he would have walked, the streets he would have walked on, sometimes the actual floors and the original flooring that he would have walked on.
The joy you get when you take somebody new down, open up a box in the archives, and the excitement that they see because they're seeing it for the first time reminds you of why it's so important for us and so special for us to be working with these collections. That direct connection back to Shakespeare the man is what people really like when they come to Stratford. Things like the parish register, where people can feel that direct connection back to Shakespeare. There's his baptism record, there's him being recorded in the world for the first time, if you like. The other artefact that really sort of resonates with visitors and makes them sort of take stock and go, wow, is something like the first folio. This is the book where the plays appear together for the first time. And without that book, we'd have lost sort of 18 of them in the mists of time. So there's a number of different challenges that face us here looking after these collections. Obviously the scale of them and the fact that they continue to grow means that storage is an ever increasing issue, and each of those items needs to be catalogued. We might want to digitise it to make it available to our audiences, not just here in Stratford but around the world. And then we might want to conserve certain artefacts to make sure that they survive not for the next year, next 5 years, but forevermore.
This spot where we're standing now is really very, very special indeed. It's the place where Shakespeare had his home, his family home, where he brought his children up, where he slept, where he read, where he possibly wrote. He owned this site for 19 years. In time for the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death in 2016, we really do need to celebrate the site and tell and show people just how important it is.
I was doing some guiding in the birth room, and I was talking to a Chinese student, and she clearly was very, very moved. And she said at one point, could she say a Chinese blessing? So I said, yes, of course you can. So she stood at the bottom of the bed, and then she started to cry. And she finished, and she bowed, and she said, thank you for giving the world William Shakespeare.
I think the unifying theme through all the work we do is that we encourage people to make their own connections, to make their own discoveries, and conversation. Whether it's with a 7-year-old who's heard a word of Shakespeare for the first time, or whether it's with that 90-year-old who's been going to see plays for 50 years. For us, it's about making sure that people not only understand, but they also enjoy. There is something there for everybody, whether it's a touching point with a human story that's been told and a way of expressing an emotion that you've felt but not being able to voice for yourself, or whether it's just actually the pure excitement of learning about historical characters. Our work is to actually make sure that people can find that connection.